Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MegaQA Career Mentorship. My name is Dimitri, and I'll be your mentor. I've got to say, I have a very important job, and that is to help you succeed by guiding you to achieve your career goals. In the following videos, I will detail every single step of my journey and personal approach, which has not only helped me, but more importantly, my students achieve a successful and meaningful career, which has afforded them the financial freedom to live a very comfortable life. The objective is actually pretty simple. Increase your value as a candidate as much as possible and effectively communicate this value to prospective employers to stand out as the best possible candidate from the pool of applicants. And guess what? If you can do that, you've got the job. Even though the objective is simple, it will require a lot of work and effort on your part, especially if you're starting from scratch and this is your first job out of school or maybe your first job in a new country. Let's jump right into it by introducing the list of chapters designed to help your career development. I will be covering the resume, career networking, references, job application, salary negotiation, the interview, background checks, keeping your job, advancing your career, and your experience and expectations. First, let's take a look at your resume. The purpose of your resume is to showcase your skills and experiences and to convince the hiring manager you are a promising candidate who should be interviewed for the position. A well-structured resume based on industry best practices, which I'm going to go over, will land you more interviews, which means more opportunity, which means getting a job offer or even multiple offers, which is actually more common than you think. When I was writing my resume, it took me almost 2 months of tweaking and revising it to get it good enough to submit to prospective positions. Making a resume from scratch is not an overnight task and should not be taken lightly. Like any tool, it needs to be refined to be used effectively. The first snag you may hit in writing your resume might be a lack of work experience. If that is the case, you may wish to pause this video and look at my content on experience and expectations. It will be linked in the description. A prospective employer may make up their mind about you from a single glance at your resume. In a way, this is the first time they get to meet you. I cannot stress this enough. You only get one chance to make a good first impression. You need to make sure your layout looks polished and your formatting is consistent. There is zero room for error. Any spelling or grammar mistakes can mean the difference between scoring an interview and getting your application tossed away. Always ask your friends and family to help proofread your resume or consider hiring somebody to professionally review it. We offer the service free of charge for MegaQA mentorship clients or for a nominal fee for non-members. That's an investment that could pay off big time for your future success. If that's something you're interested in, please click on the link in the description. So what exactly is my approach to writing the perfect resume? I believe 50% of the resume is about your layout, including its look and feel, which means text size, font color, design, formatting, and so on. And the other 50% is about the actual written content. The reason I put so much emphasis on layout is because most of your resume will not get read, only glanced over. So a professional looking resume is very important in making an impression on the hiring manager that the candidate is going to be professional and likely a good fit for the role. This works both ways. If the resume looks like your dog's breakfast, the hiring manager is likely to lose confidence that this candidate is professional, and this makes the probability of an interview much less likely to happen. And if you think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense. If a candidate cannot deliver a well-written document with a good layout and consistent formatting, why would they deliver anything better once they're hired for the job? Let's now discuss the layout of your resume in more detail. For one thing, you can forget about everything you heard about page limits. Resume should be no more than 1 to 2 pages. I hear this all the time, and this is simply not true. I have seen very successful candidates with resumes over 10 pages in length. You want to show relevant expertise, and the more of it you have, the more attractive you will be to a prospective employer. Having said that, there is absolutely a minimum length for your resume. A one-page resume could potentially make you look less experienced in the eyes of some hiring managers. Remember, You want to make a good first impression. You want to sell yourself. 2 pages is good for an intermediate role in which you've had about 2 to 5 years of experience, and 3 to 4 pages works for a more senior candidate with 5 to 10 years of experience or more. Don't try to pad it out just to get more length. You want it to read natural and let your experience speak for itself. Quality over quantity. Also, you want to be professional. So no crazy colors, no fancy fonts, no random shapes or symbols. Make it as clean and readable as possible. Keep it simple, black text on a white page, and use standard fonts, Times New Roman, Arial, Calibri, etc. The resume is composed of the following sections: the header, a summary, if it's a technical job, then an outline of technical skills, your work experience, your education, and the often forgotten footer. I like to include a footer on every page with my name, phone, and page number. Not only does this look professional, it's also useful if printed pages get separated. Avoid sections like objective, hobbies, and references. They don't add much value and can distract the hiring manager from the more critical sections. I work in tech as a QA analyst or quality assurance analyst. My job is on the technical side, so my resume may differ from yours. But let's take a look at what I have in mind. To download a free copy of the exact same template that I personally use to land dozens of interviews and every single one of my jobs, including my present place of employment, please check out the link in the description. Now let's talk about the content of your resume. Like I said, writing a resume, especially from scratch, is quite an undertaking. If you're completely stuck and need some inspiration, here are my top 3 sources. The first is, of course, your professional experience. If you work directly in the industry or have related work experience, that needs to be in your resume. Second of all, if you start to feel lost composing your resume, you could find ideas in job postings similar to the one you will be applying for. The skills requested for your position are the very same ones the hiring manager will be looking for in your resume. But please do not drag bullet points directly into your resume. Simply use them as a guide. You can paraphrase, that's fine, as long as you actually have the experience you are presenting. Another place you can get ideas from are LinkedIn profiles. There are countless people working in your field who outline their experience on their public profiles. This can be an invaluable tool to see how professionals in your field, and even those working in a more senior position, describe their work experience. But once again, blindly taking the points you like from such lists is a big no-no. You want to sound as professional as these individuals, but you want to paint a true representation of what you know and what you can bring to the company if you're hired. Let's now deep dive and break down the resume one section at a time. My header has my full name, phone number, professional email, and a shortcut to my LinkedIn profile, though the LinkedIn hyperlink is optional. My home address is not listed because that is sensitive private information, and a hiring manager will only need it after an offer is accepted. I then have my summary with 5 to 7 bullet points highlighting my most notable skills, experiences, and achievements. Look for the 3 E's in your core competencies. This is where I have my years of experience, areas of expertise, and industry exposure. Then we have my technical skills, the tools, technologies, computer languages, operating systems, databases, and methodologies I am familiar with. Then comes my work experience. I want to list every relevant job I've had, and for each, a high-level summary of my responsibilities, then a bullet point list of my accomplishments, and finally the last section highlights my technical skills used for this particular position. I also include the city where the job was located and the start and end date with a month and year. If I'm presently employed, my current job will have an end date of present to show I'm still working there. Lastly, under education, mention your post-secondary education, including degrees, diplomas, and any relevant certifications. Again, the footer with the name and page number concludes every page. And this concludes the resume chapter. If you dedicate yourself and follow the steps I've outlined, you will be well on your way to landing interviews for the jobs you want. In the next video, we'll be talking about career networking and your professional public image. please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell notification icon to get notified of future content releases. Any questions or comments, please consider joining our MegaQA Telegram channel, where I will personally respond to all of your questions. The link is in the description. I'm Dimitri from MegaQA. Thanks again for joining, and as always, keep working hard towards achieving your mega goals. And I will see you in the next one.